Have you ever tried to save someone who didn't want to be saved? Think about that friend, that family member, or perhaps that colleague. You know the one. They come to you carrying the weight of the world. Their stories are always tragedies, and they are always the protagonist. The boss who hates them, the partner who doesn't understand them, the bad luck that seems to follow them like a personal rain cloud while the rest of the street is sunny. You listen. You care. Because you are a fixer, or maybe just a good friend, you offer a solution. You say, "Have you tried talking to HR?" Or maybe you could set a boundary with him. And then you watch the dance begin. The famous game of, yes, but my boss won't listen. Yes, but if I say that, he'll leave. Yes, but you don't understand how hard it is for me. For every solution you offer, they find a new problem. For every ladder you lower into their pit, they complain about the spacing of the rungs. After an hour, you leave feeling exhausted, drained, heavy. And they leave feeling exactly the same, or sometimes strangely energized. We often label these people as toxic, draining, or energy vampires. In the fast-paced American culture of self-reliance, of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, we have very little patience for this behavior. We judge them. We distance ourselves. We tell them to get a grip. But what if I told you that what looks like stubbornness is actually terror? What if I told you that their refusal to solve the problem isn't because they love the pain, but because the solution feels more dangerous than the suffering? Welcome to the strange, silent, and often misunderstood psychology of the perpetual victim. Today, we are not here to judge the person who blames the world. We are here to understand why the cage they built feels safer than the freedom outside. Because the truth is, victimhood is not just a habit, it is an identity. And for many, it is the only way they know how to survive. Let's dissect the mechanism of this trap. In psychology, we often talk about the locus of control. It's a fancy term for a simple question. Who is driving the car of your life? If you have an internal locus of control, you believe you are holding the wheel. If you crash, it's your fault. If you win the race, it's your merit. This is the American ideal. It's the dream of agency. But the perpetual victim operates almost entirely on an external locus of control. To them, they are not the driver. They are passengers in a car driven by a drunk, blind fate. They are tied up in the trunk. To the outside observer, this looks like a nightmare. Why would anyone want to feel powerless? Why would anyone choose to believe that the world is out to get them? Here is the uncomfortable truth, the secret that nobody tells you about victimhood. It has benefits. We call these secondary gains. Think about it. If you are the victim, you are never the villain. If the world is always unfair to you, then you never have to look in the mirror and ask, what did I do wrong? If your failure is caused by the system, the economy, my parents, or my ex, then you are absolved of the terrifying burden of trying and failing. There is a strange, warm comfort in being the one who was wronged. It grants you a moral high ground. In a conflict, the victim is automatically the innocent one. They are the martyr, and martyrs don't have to apologize. Martyrs don't have to change. Martyrs just have to endure. But there is a darker, more addictive benefit: connection. For the perpetual victim, pain is a currency. It is the money they use to buy love. Imagine a child who was only hugged when they scraped their knee. Imagine a child who was ignored when they got an A on their report card, but was fussed over when they caught the flu. What does that child learn? What is the neural pathway that gets burned into their developing brain? They learn, I am invisible when I am strong. I am loved when I am broken. Fast forward 20, 30 years. That child is now an adult sitting in a coffee shop in Seattle or New York or Chicago. They feel lonely. They crave intimacy. But they don't know how to ask for connection through strength. They don't know how to say, "I'm doing great, let's celebrate." That feels unsafe. That feels like risking invisibility. So unconsciously, almost automatically, they reach for the only tool that has ever worked. They present a wound. They present a complaint. They present a crisis. They are not trying to be annoying. They are trying to be loved. They are saying, "Look at how much I hurt. Please witness me. Please care for me." But the tragedy, and it is a tragedy, is that in the adult world, this currency is devalued. What worked with a parent or a teacher does not work with a peer. In adulthood, constant complaining doesn't generate love, it generates pity. And eventually pity turns into exhaustion, and exhaustion turns into resentment. The friends who used to listen start to check their watches. The text messages start to go unanswered. The invitations stop coming. And here's the twist that locks the cage door shut. When people pull away, perpetual victim doesn't think, "Maybe I'm being too negative." No, they think, "See, I knew it. Everyone leaves me. The world is cruel. I am abandoned again." This confirms their worldview. It proves they were right to feel victimized. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy of isolation. They push people away by refusing to be happy. And now that they're alone, they have one more reason to be unhappy. The loop closes. The trap is set. But let's go deeper. Let's look at the self-rejecting complainer. This is a specific term psychologists use. Why do they ask for advice in this situation? Because taking advice requires action, and action requires responsibility. And responsibility is the most terrifying thing in the world to someone with a fragile sense of self. In the United States, we are obsessed with fixers. We want to fix things. We love the before and after photos. But for the perpetual victim, the after photo is a threat. If I fix this problem, who am I? If I stop being the person with a terrible childhood, or the person with the bad marriage, or the person with the chronic backlog, what is left of my personality? Suffering has become the structure of their ego. It is the scaffolding that holds them up. If you take away the suffering, you take away their story. You take away their headline. Furthermore, if they try to fix it and fail, the failure is on them. As long as they don't try, they haven't really failed. They've just been held back. It is the logic of the subconscious. It is better to be a victim of circumstance than a victim of my own incompetence. So they stay in the job they hate. They stay in the relationship that drains them. They keep the conflict alive with the family member they haven't spoken to in years. Not because they enjoy the pain, but because the pain is known. The pain is predictable. The pain is theirs. The unknown, the vast open space of potential happiness and success, is full of the risk of judgment, the risk of imposter syndrome, and the risk of having no one to blame but yourself. There is also a profound element of entitlement hidden within this victimhood. Now, entitlement is a loaded word. We usually associate it with arrogance, but there is such a thing as fragile entitlement. It is the belief that because I have suffered so much the world owes me, I shouldn't But this is not a partnership. It is a hostage situation. Eventually, the rescuer realizes that the victim is not interested in getting out of the water. They are only interested in pulling the rescuer in with them so they don't drown alone. When the rescuer tries to set a boundary, "I can't talk tonight, I have work," the victim reacts with disproportionate courage. "I thought you cared. I guess I'm too much for you." Everyone always leaves. This is manipulation, often unconscious but devastatingly effective. It triggers the rescuer's guilt, and guilt is the glue that keeps this toxic dynamic together long after the love has died. But here is the most important warning of this first block, and I want you to listen closely. If you are watching this and thinking, "Oh, I know exactly who this is about, my ex, my mother, my boss," pause. The psychology of the victim is not a virus that only infects bad people. It is a dormant program in all of us. We all have moments where we want to blame. We all have days where we want to be saved. We all have areas of our lives where we refuse to take responsibility. Maybe you are a high achiever at work, but you play the victim in your romantic relationships. Maybe you are a responsible parent, but you play the victim in your finances. The warning is this: victimhood is seductive. It is the path of least resistance. It requires nothing of you but more surrender. And in a world that is hard and cold and demanding, the temptation to just lie down and say, "It's not my fault," is incredibly strong. But the cost is your life. The cost is your agency. The cost is the ability to shape your own destiny. When you hand over the blame to the world, you hand over your power with it. You cannot change what you do not own. If the problem is out there, the solution must also be out there, and you are left waiting. In the next part of this series, we are going to leave the present day and travel back in time. We are going to enter the childhood home of the perpetual victim. We are going to answer the question, how is this mindset created? Because no baby is born blaming the world. No child is born wanting to be helpless. Something happened. A lesson was learned. A survival strategy was forged in the fires of a difficult environment. To understand the adult who pushes love away, we must meet the child who learned that love was conditional on suffering. We are going to explore the era of the wounded child and how specific parenting styles, not just abuse but sometimes overprotection, can strip a human being of their belief in their own capability. This is not about blaming parents. It is about understanding the architecture of the soul. Stay with us, because if you recognize yourself or someone you love in this description, understanding the origin is the first step to breaking the lock. No one is born a victim. Look at a baby. A baby is the ultimate survival machine. When they are hungry, they scream. When they are curious, they crawl. When they fall while learning to walk, they don't sit on the floor and blame the carpet for being too slippery. They get up. They try again. We are born with an instinct for agency. We are born believing that our actions have an effect on the world. So how do we get from that resilient baby to the 35-year-old adult who believes the entire universe is conspiring against them? How does a human being lose their natural instinct to fight? To understand the perpetual victim, we have to look at the software that was installed during their most critical years. And usually we find one of two very different but equally damaging storylines. Scenario 1. So unconsciously, they carry this script into adulthood. They don't know how to bond with a partner over shared joy or success. Happiness feels suspicious. It feels like isolation. But a crisis feels like home. A crisis is how you get people to stop, look, and care. Scenario 2. The overprotected child. The world is too big for you. Now let's look at the opposite, which is rampant in modern American parenting. The helicopter parent, or the snowplow parent. This is the child who was never allowed to struggle. Before they could fall, a hand caught them. Before they could fail a test, the parent argued with the teacher. Before they could feel sad, they were bought a new toy. The intention here is love, but the message received by the child is devastating. Every time a parent rushes in to solve a problem the child could have solved themselves, they are silently saying, "You can't handle this. You are too weak. The world is dangerous and you are incompetent. You need me." This creates a psychological state known as weaponized incompetence. The child learns that if they act helpless enough, someone else will do the heavy lifting. They learn that "I can" is a magic spell that summons the rescue. Fast forward to adulthood. This is the coworker who doesn't know how to use the printer, so you do it for them. This is the partner who can't handle the bills, so you pay them. They have not developed the efficacy muscle. They genuinely believe they are incapable of navigating. Their victimhood is not a manipulation. It is a panic response to a life they were never taught to manage. This brings us to the most important concept we need to understand: learned helplessness. In the 1960s, psychologist Martin Seligman discovered something terrifying. He found that if you expose a dog to a mild shock that it cannot escape, eventually the dog stops trying. But here is the horror. Later, when the cage doors open and the dog could easily walk out to freedom, it doesn't move. It stays and endures the shock. It has learned that its actions don't matter. It has learned that the outcome is independent of its effort. The perpetual victim is a human being suffering from learned helplessness. At some point in their life, maybe due to an abusive relationship, a chaotic childhood, or systemic failure, they learned that fighting was useless. Now the door is open. You are standing there, holding it open, yelling, "Come on, you can change jobs. You can leave him. You can be happy." And they look at you with blank, sad eyes, and they don't move, because in their brain, the door is still locked. To them, your optimism looks like naivety. They think, "You just don't understand the nature of the cage." The neurobiology of why they won't change. Let's look at their brain. Neuroscience tells us that the brain is an energy-conserving organ. It loves patterns. For the perpetual victim, the victim pathway is a superhighway. It is well-paved, lit up, and fast. Taking responsibility? That is a jungle path that hasn't been cleared. It requires massive cognitive effort. When faced with a challenge, their amygdala, the fear center, hijacks their prefrontal cortex, the logic center. They go into emotional override, blaming the world as a mechanism to lower anxiety. Think about it. If it's my fault, I have to fix it. That is stressful. If it's the world's fault, I can just be angry. Anger is easier than anxiety. Anger is an energy that numbs the pain of an action. This is why they get love sometimes means saying, I love you too much to listen to this complaint again. I believe you are strong enough to fix it. Call me when you want to talk about the solution. But breaking this cycle is violent. When the victim realizes you are no longer playing the game, that you are no longer the audience for their tragedy, they will not thank you. They will panic. They will accuse you of abandoning them. They will try to make you feel guilty because guilt is the leash they use to pull you back. In the next part, we are going to explore exactly that, the toxic dance of relationships. Why do perpetual victims often attract narcissists? And why do they attract fixers like you? We will look at the dark magnetism between the person who needs saving and the person who needs to save. And most importantly, we will discuss how to set boundaries without cruelty, how to keep your empathy but lose the burden, because you cannot save someone who is holding onto the anchor. You can only show them how to let go. But if you hold on to them while they hold the anchor, you both drown. If the perpetual victim is the star of their own tragedy, then who are the supporting actors? If you are watching this, there is a high probability that you are one of them. Because here is the thing about victimhood. It is not a solo performance. It is an interactive play. A victim cannot exist without a villain. And, crucially, they cannot sustain the drama without a hero. Welcome to the most exhausting geometry lesson of your life, the Cartman drama triangle. Developed by Stephen Cartman, this model explains almost every toxic interaction you have ever had with a perpetual victim. The triangle has 3 points, 3 roles. And the terrifying part? Once you step onto the triangle, you will likely rotate through all 3 positions before the relationship ends. Position 1, the victim, or me. We know this role. They feel helpless, depressed, and ashamed. They are not looking for a way out. They are looking for a rescuer to validate their pain. Their stance is, I cannot make it on my own. Position 2, the rescuer. Let me help you. This is likely you. The rescuer is the good guy. The fixer, the empath. You step in because you feel guilty seeing them suffer. Or perhaps, deep down, you need to feel needed. Helping makes you feel superior, competent, and in control. You say, don't worry, I'll fix it. I'll lend you the money. I'll talk to them for you. It feels like love, but it's not. It's a dependency trap. Position 3, the persecutor. It's all your fault. This is the villain. In the victim's eyes, this is the boss, the ex, the government, the person causing the pain. Now watch how the triangle rotates. You, the rescuer, try to help the victim. You give advice, you give time, you give energy. But the victim doesn't change. They reject your advice with yes, but eventually you get tired, you get frustrated, you set a boundary, you say, I can't listen to this anymore, you're not going to do anything about it. Snap. The trap springs. In that exact second, the perpetual victim flips the script. They look at you with betrayal in their eyes. They say, I thought you were my friend. You're just like the rest of them. You're abandoning me when I need you most. Do you see what happens? You have been demoted. victim's helplessness makes the narcissist feel powerful, godlike. And the victim loves the narcissist because the narcissist provides a perfect excuse. When the relationship inevitably turns abusive or controlling, the victim gets to say, "See, it's not my fault I'm unhappy. Look at what he does to me." The narcissist becomes the ultimate persecutor, validating the victim's identity forever. This is why you often see people leaving one abusive relationship only to jump immediately into another. They are not just unlucky, they are unconsciously casting the role of the villain, because without a villain, they would have to be the hero of their own life, and that is too terrifying. The energy vampire, biological reality. Now let's talk about what happens to your body when you are around them. You know the feeling. You spend an hour with a perpetual victim, and you leave feeling physically heavy. You might have a headache. You feel drained, as if you just ran a marathon. Pop culture calls them energy vampires, but neuroscience calls it emotional contagion by a mirror neurons. Humans are a herd species. We are wired to sync up with the people around us. When you are with someone who is chronically in a state of hopelessness, anxiety, and defeat, your brain tries to empathize by simulating their emotional state. Your cortisol levels spike. Your body goes into a low-grade fight or flight. You are literally absorbing their stress. But unlike them, you don't get the release of the This is why, over time, you start to avoid them. You see their name on your phone, and you feel a microdose of dread. And this leads to the self-fulfilling prophecy of abandonment. The victim believes, people always leave me, so they act in a way, draining, demanding, refusing help, that forces people to leave for their own self-preservation. When you finally pull away, you prove them right. "See," they say, "I knew I was in trouble." But they don't see that they handed you the scissors and begged you to cut the cord. The paradox of empathy. So what do? If you are an empathetic person, this is your kryptonite. You feel guilty for pulling away. You feel like you are being cruel. But here's the hard truth I need you to hear. Empathy without boundaries is self-destruction. There is a difference between supporting someone and caring someone. Supporting is standing next to someone while they climb a mountain, cheering them on, maybe handing them a bottle of water. Caring is putting them on your back and trying to climb the mountain for them. When you carry a perpetual victim, two things happen. You break your back. They never develop leg muscles. By trying to save them from their consequences, you are robbing them of the only thing that can actually heal them: reality. Reality is a great teacher. Consequences are the feedback mechanism of life. If they spend all their money and you pay their rent, you have stolen the lesson that might have forced them to learn budgeting. If they treat people badly and you keep forgiving them, you have stolen the loneliness that might have forced them to learn kindness. You are not being nice. You are interacting with their pathology, not their potential. And deep down, they know it. They lose respect for the rescuer because they know the rescuer is a fool for believing the lies they tell themselves. The turn. So is there hope? Can a perpetual victim wake up? Can they leave the triangle? Yes, but it rarely happens because of a warning. It happens because of a rock bottom. It happens Now we must ask the only question that matters. How do we get out? If you are the person who feels like the world is against you, or if you love someone who feels that way, this final chapter is the most difficult. Because healing does not begin with a miracle. It begins with a very hard, very cold, and very necessary truth. It is the distinction between blame and responsibility. This is the concept that changes everything. In the perpetual victim's mind, these two words are synonyms. They think, if I am responsible for my life, it means I am to blame for my trauma. And because they know they didn't cause their trauma, the abuse, the neglect, the bad luck, they reject responsibility. But here's the truth you must swallow to be free. Your trauma is not your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. Imagine you walk out to your driveway and find your car has a flat tire. Someone slashed it during the night. Is it your fault? No. You are the victim of a crime. It is unfair. You have every right to be angry. But whose responsibility is it to change the tire? It is yours. You can stand in the driveway screaming at the sky. You can call your friends and tell them how unfair it is. You can wait for the person who slashed it to come back and fix it. Spoiler, they won't. But until you change the tire, you are not going anywhere. The perpetual victim is waiting for the person who slashed the tire to come back and apologize. They are stuck in the driveway of life, demanding justice before they allow themselves to move. Recovery happens the moment you decide, I didn't break this, but I'm going to fix it. The death of the ideal rescuer. To leave the cage, you must grieve. And this sounds strange. Why would you grieve misery? Because you have to grieve the fantasy of the rescuer. Deep down, the victim child inside is still waiting for a parent, or a partner, or God, or the universe, to come and scoop them up and say, I'm sorry, I will make it all better. You have to accept that no one is coming to save you. That sounds depressing, but it is actually the most liberating news in the world. Because if no one is coming to save you, it means you are the one you have been waiting for. It means the power is not in someone else's hands, it is in yours. Practical steps. Rebuilding self-efficacy. So how do you rebuild a brain wired for helplessness? You don't do it with positive thinking, you do it with proof. You need to prove to your brain that you have power. We call this building self-efficacy. Start small, micro wins. Don't try to fix your whole life today. Fix your bed, wash the dishes, send that one email. Every time you make a promise to yourself and keep it, you are rewriting the neural code. You are teaching your brain, I am a person who acts. I am a person who affects reality. Change your language. Stop using passive language. Instead of saying, he made me angry, say, I felt angry when he did that. Instead of saying, I can't, say, I am choosing not to right now. Language shapes reality. When you take I back into your sentences as the subject, not the object, you take the wheel back. The what now? Give yourself 5 minutes to complain. Then, cry, scream. It's healthy. But when the timer goes off, you must ask the question, okay, that sucks. What now? Shift from the problem to the solution. Shift from the past to the future. For the friends and family, the final boundary. And if you are the friend, the partner, the rescuer watching this, I have a job for you too. And it is the hardest job of all. You have to resign. You have to turn in your badge as the general manager of the universe. You have to stop trying to fix them. This doesn't mean you stop loving them. It means you love them enough to let them grow. When they come to you with the same complaint for the 10th time, you don't offer a solution. You ask a question. You say, I love you and I hate seeing you in pain. What do you think you're going to do about this? And then you stay silent. You let the silence sit there. You let the weight of the problem fall back onto their shoulders where it belongs. They might get angry. They might call you selfish. But you are handing them back their dignity. You are treating That is the highest form of respect. There is a concept in storytelling called the hero's journey. Every hero starts as a victim of circumstance. Harry Potter under the stairs, Luke Skywalker on the farm. But the story doesn't start until they leave the victimhood behind. The refusal to be a victim doesn't mean you deny your scars. It means you look at your scars and say, this is what happened to me. It is not who I am. The perpetual victim holds on to the wound because they think the wound makes them special. But the survivor knows that the healing is what makes them special. The resilience is the goal. Life is unfair. It is tragically, beautifully, chaotically unfair. You will get hurt. You will be betrayed. You will lose things you didn't deserve to lose. You can spend your life building a monument to your pain, inviting people to come and visit your museum of suffering, or you can take that pain, use it as fuel, and build a life so beautiful, so rich, and so authentically yours that the people who hurt you become nothing more than footnotes in the biography of your triumph. The door is open. The car is yours. You are in the driver's seat. Where do you want to go?